what is the whole concept of generational baggage and wounds and pain? What does it really define in a very simplistic manner? What does it really mean? So, if I take the example of a flame, right? If I have a flame in front of me, there's burning fire. If I put my hand at the top of it, it's really going to hurt me. That's where all the heat is rising up, right? But if the same flame is over there and I flicker a lighter and then there's a flame and I pierce my hand through it, it doesn't really hurt. Why? Because there's a different type of experience that two people can have from the same situation that ends up building our thought pattern and our idea of a specific event or a composition or circumstance at hand, right? So when we're developing that, or when I poked through it, it didn't hurt me. So I realized, oh, maybe this is not painful. But when I put my hand on top of it for long enough, it really burns and it hurts me so bad that my hand tends to send message to my brain that don't do this because this is really going to hurt you, right? So person A developed the thought pattern that it doesn't really hurt because person A had a different technique. Person B developed a growling fear of the fact that no, this is really gonna hurt me. Became extremely defensive because their body told them they don't do this. This is really hurting us, right? So A and B people both are correct in their own situation. From where they're coming from, this is their perspective, right? And that's how life really works. You are someone that is a sum of your parents. These are your parents. You took their genes and you took their genes as well. You're going to give your genes to your kids, and that's how the cycle of information genetics really passes down, right? So if I today have a belief that I got to really work myself. Like, I got to overwork myself because nothing seems to be enough. Or I have been through so much emotional neglect in the past that I possibly don't know how to really heal that emotional neglect, that I don't know how to open up my heart. I'm so heartbroken because of what my parents did. And then the cycle keeps, carrying along. It's like, we keep doing things to look for this place of safety where we don't realize that safety is found in the present moment. But the caveat over here is that the clues to restore safety lie in your past, and that's where we do generational work, because generational work is the foundation at which you find these answers. We don't always, when we're creating something, we look to the future. We're futuristic and it looks amazing. When we're looking for answers, we trace our way back. When you're looking for something that you lost, like say a lipstick or a sweater, you're trying to think and you're tracing back, where did I really leave it? You're not thinking about where will I put it in the future. You're looking back at, where did I leave it? Did I put it in the car? Did I leave it in my cupboard? Did I wear it? Did I lend it to someone? We're thinking about, where did that possible thing go, right? Where did that thing actually go? And we're tracing back. So history tells us that the answers are usually found in the past. People go digging holes not for just fun, it's out of curiosity, it's about looking for answers. A lot of times when we do shadow work, we look in our past, we look at our parents, we look at them, because we're still building up the future and we're looking back at what has already taken place so that we can unsolve those answers with the knowledge, we can unsolve those questions with the knowledge we have today. So piecing together why you are the way you are is not just about, you don't need to have like a film or historic books, or you don't need to exactly have journals of what your ancestors have really been through. Heck, you don't even need to exactly ask your parents like what happened with them. If you can, if you're emotionally aware enough, you can see exactly what's going on with them, why do they behave the way they do, right? But a lot of emotional work when we're doing is about, in the present moment, seeing what beliefs, what stories is my body really holding. It's not about your mind. Subconscious healing is a part, but somatic healing is a very different thing. Why is it a different thing? Because I could be someone that's in therapy and I'm doing a lot of journaling, I'm doing a lot of meditation, and meditation connects you to the spiritual world. But I always say this in my videos, that there's mind, body, and spirit. People take a lot of effort in, meditation and journaling, and then they connect with their spirituality, but the vehicle, the vessel that you came is the one that gives you all of the abundance that you're trying to call in and improve your life. This is the part where people should also focus upon when you're doing your inner work, is that realize that it needs to really feel what you're trying to inculcate in your life. It needs to feel what is good for it and what's not good for it. If you're someone that still struggles with, I'll take the most common example. When your parents aren't emotionally open, it makes you feel heartbroken. So you attract other heartbroken people. When you're healing and you're doing a great job by just understanding yourself, just trying to understand yourself, and you're watching this video, it's a very good thing. You're curious about this. There's also I think that there is also a very deep natural knack to natural gift, like natural talent, to the people that try to understand themselves, because they're looking at life from a deeper perspective. They're not just looking at it surface level, like they're fixing things at a surface level. They're looking at life deeper than what it requires of them, because they are building a relationship with themselves. They understand the epitome of fulfillment that comes from within. Nothing absolutely comes from the outside. Whatever I'm creating, however I'm looking, however I'm speaking, all of it has been cultivated inside. The way I live my life, the way I feel, all of it is coming from the inside. It has absolutely nothing to do with XYZ people on the outside. So we're thinking about this situation where I am building in this relationship with my body. Now I want a better life for myself, and you may have the resources locked up somewhere that your higher self is going to give it to you. I can say this with my own experience, that your higher self gives you those experiences in hand. They just unfold in a periodic manner. It's got a chronological order in your life. I totally believe that life has a chronological way of unfolding events in your life. You don't have to purposely dive too deep into shadow work and figure out, what do I need to do? Where does, my grandfather come from? Where does my mother come from? What happened to them? What was their response? No. If you just go with the flow of life, if you just allow the universe to take care of you, see, everybody gets those lessons. But not a lot of people always want to take the lesson at hand. So somebody that's trying to improve their life will take it. Somebody that wants to improve their life is called too much or too philosophical or an overthinker. It's because they're trying to look for answers. There's a difference between having a curious mind and having a restless mind. A restless mind is a product of a restless body that does not feel safe in the moment. A curious mind is simply just a byproduct of an explorer or wanderer, an adventurous soul that wants to see, they just get very peaked. And a lot of people that are spiritually inclined are people that are very, very curious about life. They just have this thing, they just have this knack. Some people just have it, they're born with it. So you will always be offered with the lesson at hand. Your life will give you thousands of chances. It's going to bring the same lesson in front of you, not because it's a rugged process that you have to prove yourself. No, I think the biggest misconception that people have is that I need to give a test, only then the universe will give it back to me. It's not at all true. Universe is not giving you any test. Tests and delays and blah blah blah, all of this does not exist, at least not in my reality. That does not exist because, simply because, I am unlocking different levels of potentials at different frequencies, at different phases in my life. And till the time I'm learning to meet myself deeper. People think that success is about the highs. No, success is about depth. Success is about defining what it is for you. A person can have the most amount of fame, a person can have the most amount of money that their freaking lineage has seen, but they may not ever feel like this is enough because they don't feel safe in their own being. A lot of times people try to convince themselves that I am enough in this moment, I got this job, I cracked this exam, I got this money, or finally my parents said, like, I'm proud of you, or my parents noticed my work. And you can't possibly remove your approval of your parents despite of how good or bad your relationship is, unless and until you take whole ownership of your own life. If you're taking full ownership of your own life, you're also going to learn how to reparent yourself. A lot of people that have very codependent traits come from a lot of enmeshment, overprotection, um, even lack perhaps, but they come from this place that I am not enough or I can't take care of myself just as I am in this moment. A lot of it does take grit and courage to trust in the divine, that the divine is looking after you, universal forces are looking after you, that they do not need someone physical to take care of them, whether it's a parent or a spouse. um I say again, exceptions are always there, especially specifically when it's like old age, you need help and things like that, or you're an infant, you need help. But if you're someone that's yoked enough, young enough to understand this concept, don't go too much in the technicalities of it, right? We're seeing what happens when our body does not feel safe. And why don't we feel safe? Because your ambition and your insecurity definitely gave you a goal. And I say that a lot of it is the paradox of human race. You do tend to achieve something that's quite out of your reach, out of some sort of like immense amount of drive and ambition. But when does it really become enough? When does it really stop? When is it okay for you to rest and tell yourself, like, I am good in this moment? When is it enough for you? That is where answers also go back in the past. Because if you're still working out of this overworking mindset or lack mindset, people think that it's about love, it's about self love. No, it's about creating safety. Do I feel safe in this moment, Isha? Do I feel safe in this moment? Yes, I do. Do I trust myself? Yes, I really do. Do I work hard on building an environment around me that makes me feel like not the main character? That's social media fluff. How would I translate it as? Do I feel safe with myself? Am I making choices that make me feel like my life is my own and not somebody else's? All of these answers tend to just come to us when we spend more time in our body, when we try to cultivate a better relationship with our body. People have distorted ways of understanding their relationship with their body, especially for women. A lot of it is difficult because we're like mentally constrained with beauty standards, that or with like diets, or the way that we need to show up for ourselves and for other people. There's a sense of feeling chosen, like I gotta get chosen. You don't even know where you want to get chosen. It's not about just women. What do you really want? At the end of the day, it really comes down to yourself. And I know you want to. I know you want to feel like you're being chosen by yourself. I know you want to feel safe by yourself. That's why the answers come from the past. What your ancestors experienced through climate, through famine, through drought, just through wildlife, whatever they experienced, your nervous system is still based off an ancient memory. And you moving towards a higher frequency, integrating higher like light codes and wisdom, real divine wisdom, will require for you to leave behind those coping mechanisms, those survival mechanisms, for you to experience the life you're truly meant to experience, your soul wants to experience in this lifetime on planet earth.